Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Welcome back to the final episode of the 7 days series of Haven and Hearth, in which I try and teach you how to go from a new character starting the game all the way to being in a walled, safe settlement. And I'm happy that we even reached that goal in retrospect, because man, have the last 24 hours been janky. Look, we always knew that the final episode of this 7 days series was going to be a janky one. This isn't the end of the guide series in general, of course. I'm going to be having a whole lot more guides for you, but this is the end of the 7 days series. And I always knew going into it, this is going to be the weird day where we might not have a lot to talk about, or we might not have a whole lot to show, where not a whole lot might happen, or it might be completely random, you know? I didn't even know if I'd get this far because, who knows, maybe I just get hunted, like I have on so many worlds before. But in the last 48 hours, my computer, which was completely stable for over a month after I had to get the motherboard, the CPU, and the RAM, and I think the power supply too, replaced. It was completely stable and great for a month, and then in the last 48 hours, it has freezed or crashed 3 times, and we're still in the process of troubleshooting that. It looks like it's probably a driver issue, but we don't really know for sure yet. I'm now recording this on the 28th of November, which is the day this series goes live, the absolute deadline. And it's not just because my computer's unstable, it's the server too. All of yesterday, the server kept crashing and getting little rollbacks, and then Ender client stopped working properly because something got updated. It was nightmarish, so I couldn't record yesterday. I got almost nothing recorded yesterday. But I did get some things recorded during the small times where it was a little bit stable last night. So let's talk about that. First of all, I really wanted a bee-skep, but I just couldn't get anything I needed for it. What I really needed was straw, but I hunted and I couldn't find any wild plants that gave straw. I don't really know why. Never run into that before. Probably not an issue you're ever going to run into when you're playing on your file, because by the time in whatever world you're playing that you are playing, you can just wait a little bit and you can dry some wild windsown weeds and you'll get some seeds for whatever it is you need. I was just trying to go entirely off wild plants, and I simply couldn't find any wild plant for, like, grains. So that meant no chicken coop, no rabbit hutch, and a very sad-looking farm. So I decided, okay, I'll show you guys how to do lure fishing. I've talked about that a little bit before. It's this really cool kind of fishing where you make a primitive casting rod. It's just like a regular fishing rod. You just need a little bit of woven cloth for it. So you're going to need to have already made a loom for that, but you can use wild fiber. It's fine. You don't need to use good farmed stuff. And of course, there's this whole table for fishing on the wiki that you should definitely go check out, linked in the description. And lure fishing is where you can make lures, really simple stuff, a rock lobster, a wood fish. I actually made some tin flies, which are made out of little tin nuggets and some feathers. And so I have all these different lures you can put on your hook, and I'm using some decent line, mostly macabre line, because I had a bunch of intestines laying around. But I had a little bit of woodsman's line too. As you may notice in the footage, I was cycling through the lures and the fishing line a lot, trying to figure out, okay, all these percent chances of catching are really low. What combo do I need to use to be able to catch something here? And after about 10 minutes, I realized, oh, every single combination of the things I brought catches basically nothing here. I seem to remember shoreline fishing line, which you make out of, like, reeds, like the fibers from cattails. Those seem to work really well. I guess my fishing lines might be holding me back. I'm not sure. So I didn't catch a single fish. This is a great episode 7, isn't it? You know what did go pretty well, though, is these badgers. I found some badgers, and I decided I'd fight them just like I said I would. This was being a little bit risky, because like I was saying last episode, I don't have any moves to remove red openings on me, other than Flex, which just isn't all that efficient. And badgers are probably the first animal that you're going to be intentionally hunting. that can give you red openings. And yet, I was fine. This amount of armor that we're wearing is totally overkill, and the metal axe that I have is also totally overkill for this. So we were absolutely decimating them, to the point that when I ran into two of them, I decided I took them out, I teleported them back home, I walked right out to the same field again, and I took out the other one. I actually ran into these on my way to the fishing trip. It's funny how that worked out. Oh yeah, by the way, you see how a lot of my armor is kind of dented up? You know, I said that the server changes and the server instability caused Ender Client to also go crazy. There were small chunks of time yesterday where if you did any action, like you did an emote, you did an attack action, you did anything that wasn't walking around or like right-clicking things, you would crash. But when you crash and the server doesn't crash, your character stays there for a little while before he disappears. So if you're in combat, you're gonna die. The attack action was making me crash for a little while. So I got just mauled by a fox, a badger, and a bat at different points yesterday when the server was being a little bit more unstable, rushing to log back in so I can pick up the fight. It's a good thing I was so armored up. Now, so far, this is mostly being, oh man, this didn't work out. Oh man, that didn't work out. You know what might work out, because I haven't done it yet, and we're going to do it here live. Grab one of these dreams, grab two of these bow. We're going to make a dowsing rod. There we go. Now, dowsing rod is an interesting tool. It's not super useful, to be honest. This is for finding places underground with risen water so that you can make a well. So if we just put this on our hand, oh, it takes both hands, doesn't it? That's right. If we put this on our hand slots, there we go. We have a dowsing rod. Let's go walk out into the world. See, just like when you're prospecting, it pings every once in a while, and you just follow where it pings. I don't think there's anything you can do to activate it. I think it's just on a timer. Well, let's lower our walk speed. Oh. Which way now? Is it gonna... Oh! It must be like right here? Hold on, let's turn the grid on. We'll stand on this tile. Now, this is not actually like the fastest way to do this. Oh! It's not rising any farther here. Okay. Is it this tile or is it one of the tiles I walked through when getting here? Ooh. Was it here? I'm waiting for the thing to pop up again. Sorry, let's turn off trees so we can see better. Was it right here? Okay. Okay, I'm going to show you the other way to check this. Ooh, over here maybe a little bit. See, this is a very slow way of checking it. You don't actually need a dowsing rod. It's kind of funny. To build a well... Okay, I found it here. It's, you go buildings and construction, economy and extensions, and a well. Now, the cost of the well... Okay, it must be the tile I'm on, right? When you're building a well, cannot build on that type of terrain. That's annoying. So, the way you used to be able to check it, I guess, was... You can check the building cost. The building cost of the well goes up as the quality or availability goes up. Again, some of this information might be slightly out of date, just because the wiki is usually wildly out of date. So I just have to go off what I can learn online. This seems to be about the spot. I should have brought something with me to mark this spot, actually. I'm just gonna drop... I'll drop my dowsing rod on it. There we go. That's how I'll mark the spot. Where's a stone that I can chip? Here's a stone. I'm just gonna chip this stone real quick so we can pave that spot. Then I can check and see, you know, if it works. Back in the day, you used to be able to literally just click well and hover over and find exactly where the valid spots were. So you may wonder, like, what's the point in building a well, right? Because like well springs are pretty common. I have a well spring right next to me. That's an infinite source of water. If you live not very far away from a lake or a river, then that's an infinite source of water too. Well, a well might end up being higher quality. Let's turn that off again. There it is. Yeah, a well might be higher quality. I found a well around here that another player already built, and I think they made it into like a community well because they put a claim on it so no one could steal it, but they made it so it's public so everyone can use it, which was very kind of them. Can't do that on select terrain. Oh, what am I thinking? I have to hand plow it first, don't I? I wouldn't normally recommend doing this without a shovel, because as you can see in the top left, the stamina drain is unreal. You know what? Do we even need to pave this? Or can we just hand plow it? I'm hand plowing like I'm Krillin and or Goku as a child. Only the real ones know what I'm talking about. Here we go. I'm doing more drinking than plowing. There we go. And if I were to build... Nah, okay, it does have to... the dowsing rod finally, like, evaporated into the soil. That's fine, I don't care about it. Let's pave that. There we go. And can I do it just like that? Can't build on... Maybe I have to pave the area around it. Okay, there we go. I paved all around it. Let's try this again. I don't think the land needs to be perfectly flattened, or else it would be saying that the terrain's not flat enough. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to build a well right here. Ah, finally. There we go. And you can see the costs of it aren't exactly what it said the cost would be down here. Like, it would said it would be 20 stone down here. It's actually, like, more. It's 28. You can see it's 2 extra rope. Just there's some things that cost more. I do believe... that, yeah, it says the cost here varies with the height of the local water table. So you can check to see the cost of the well. I want to say that a higher cost well actually makes you better quality water, but I could be wrong. So I have no idea what this quality of water is. I can't really know until I build the well. And I don't really plan on building this right now because I don't want to drop 60 string on it for no particular reason other than to draw water from it once ever. But that is how you build a well, so that you can build one for your settlement if you don't have a super easy access source of water, or if you just want to see, hey, what's the quality of water under my settlement? Maybe I've got some good water underground, and I just don't know it yet, you know? Good quality of water, you can use that in the crafting of a lot of things, but most importantly, use it in your tanning tubs for getting good quality leathers, which obviously you want great quality leathers. And you also use water in quite a bit of cooking, quite a bit of baking, and you use it for your tree farm, because that's how you water your pots and stuff. But we don't have an herbalist table because, unfortunately, although I've been keeping up on my farming, it's still only been like a few days because this series is all coming together so quickly, and so I haven't actually domesticated like proper fibers, proper plant fibers that can be used for the construction of a herbalist table. Guys, we're going to do something very terrifying and very exciting because I want some action this episode. First, on my way there to the little stores, ignore that ding. I set a very weird chime to be whenever I see a wild beehive because I was hunting wild beehives hoping to get enough wax for an ancestral shrine. I didn't get any wax from any of the beehives. We're going to do something very exciting today, but before we do, we're going to stand up here and we're going to take a look at our Hearth magic. This is something I have not showed you the whole game because it's pretty irrelevant to new players. If you go to your abilities, you can see you have experience points. Experience points get used up when you study things, but they get used up at such a small rate compared to the rate at which you get them just by playing the game. You know, all those little events when you see a hostile creature for the first time in a world, or you in a while, or you see a reflection in the water. You know, you get those little events all the time. You sit down for the first time in a little while. Those give you experience. You also get experience from killing animals. And you expend it on researching. You can see that this costs 40 experience. So you're very rarely like in trouble trying to get experience in the early game. It's a stat you can basically ignore. But Hearth magic are a list of spells you get through your skills that let you spend experience on abilities. This is more so for people later in the game who are hunting a lot and able to get a lot of experience easily. But we're going to look through what some of these are. There's only one of these that I would say you should put on your hotbar right now and keep there forever, and that is Rawhide. Keep it on your hotbar and not in the first 5, because you're only going to use it if you're in combat. Rawhide only costs 300 XP, and what it does is if a player comes running at you on a horse, and you know they're definitely not there to say hi, you cast Rawhide on them. The closer they are, the longer they're going to be startled for. What it does is it bucks the horse, and that sends the rider flying off, gives them some nasty injuries, and will force them to be on foot because they can't remount the horse for a little while. That puts you and them on an even playing field at running at the same speed. So you need Rawhide, because when a dude on a horse runs out of nowhere and comes at you, especially if you're a new player, they assume you don't know these things. If you Rawhide that guy, they're gonna be pissed. You really, really piss them off if you can run away from them after that too. Bring a lot of water, you're gonna be running. There are other things, though. We have Sense Thingwall. I don't know exactly how all of these work. I want to point that out, because the descriptions are things like, by tasting the colors of the wind, you can sense the direction of the Thingwall of the province you're currently in. This helps you locate the Thingwalls of where you are, which are the fast travel points. If you've already found Thingwalls that are adjacent to each other, you can use them to essentially fast travel. You can Quell the Beast, which costs 5,000 XP, but it pieces out of a fight with an animal, which can save your life. There's the Mining Song. It says, while you sing the Mining Song, you'll excavate more ore and rock. I do believe that just makes you dig faster, but I could be wrong. Kindle, you know the secret to light a fire with the flick of your fingers. Yes, I think that's just you snap your fingers and you can, start a little fire rather than having to have sticks or fake gold or whatever. Horse Whisperer, I believe it is just, instantly draw upon its untapped sources of pony power. I don't know if that is you auto-tame it or temporarily tame it like you would with a clover, or if that's just you get more pony power. I think probably what that is it fills your tank of pony power so your horse can keep running. If so, potentially very useful. There's the Fisher's Request for a Catch. Kind of makes me think of Unreal World. That's a really fun game. Anyway. Oh my god! Sorry, I just read the description somewhere out here in this Unreal World. Oh my god, that's so cool. No, everybody go play Unreal World. It's a really good game. It's on Steam, but it's a game that's been in active development since I think the month I was born. It was like September 1992, I want to say is the first release of that game, and it's still being actively developed today, and it's just a very, very fun game. Wow. Sorry, I didn't read that. That's so funny. No, that's super cool. Yeah, I'm guessing that just ups your chance to catch fish or something for a little while. Dig Deeper increases the quality of a well by making it dig deeper. It says that it doubles cost each time the well is dug deeper. Yeah, that's true. So like that's kind of a late game dumping XP into something. Contemplation and meditation. The cost of increases each time you do it and decreases over time. And it halves the remaining study time. So you could load up on a bunch of things that take forever to study and then cast this to lower it. That's cool. And commune with nature. You believe you could seek out some awoken part of the locality by communicating with nature and reading her signs. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what that does. If you wanted me to take a wild guess says you pick up a quest from a local rock or tree or frog or whatever the local quest giver is. I'm going to guess that's probably what that is, but I bet you the wiki will tell you what it was 5 years ago. Dude, I just jumped off a cliff and then walked in a cave and it just rapid fired 2 events. That's how easy it can be to get experience. Oh, look at these bats. I could slaughter them right now real quick, but we have something a little more important to do. Guys, it's time to cause a cave-in. I don't know if I'll cause a cave-in, but I want to see if I can real quick get some footage of how mining works. So we are going to poke the bear today. I have my my metal axe on because it has mining bonuses. We have a lot of water on us and a little bit of milk. And I'm gonna equip this shield because I think any armor I have will mean I take less damage if a cave-in happens. Our health is... okay, listen, severe mauling sounds really bad, but like our max health up here is not bad. Our constitution is not good at all, especially compared to some of our other stats. I have not been eating enough constitution food, but we're pretty well armored up. We have a decent helmet that's 2/3 broken, and if the character dies now, it's not the end of the world. Let's get mining. First of all, always turn your grid on when you mine. Oh, what's gonna happen? So you can get a cave-in on your first tile if you're just poking a random wall. Oh, hey, we got some cat gold out of the wall. Damn. There's a lot of stone in here, I guess. Not that I've, like, gotten any yet or anything, but the wall must be hard here. It's worth pointing out, I did prospect around the top of this cave earlier, a few days ago when I was getting the metals. And I didn't... Oh, another cat's gold. There we go. Okay, we're in the clear. We're in the clear. We can keep mining. What kind of stone is this if we... Okay. Okay. We're gonna mine one deeper. I did prospect around the outside of this cave. What is that? Oh, I'm getting the rock itself. Oh, that's like a beautiful blue stone. Can I pave in here? I want to see what that looks like. Ooh. Ooh, I like how that looks. Cool. Now, I shouldn't pave too much. I don't want to confuse people. Usually you pave to mark off where it's dangerous. Gray whack. I don't think that's an ore either. Anyway. Oh, quenching thirst. That's another event. What we're looking for is cave dust. If we break a tile and cave dust comes out, then we know that the game of Minesweeper has begun. But this is called poking the bear. You just start whacking away at random tiles, and you inspect what's nearby, and you see, do I see any ore? I don't see any ore. I think I'm gonna go deeper. And I know this sounds really inefficient. I really do discover ore from this sometimes. This genuinely is an early game method of mining. You should prospect and try and figure out a general direction, but for real, the first time I ever got metal was poking the bear. It really does work. Also, you can get decent quality stone out of this, at least better quality stone than you're gonna get out of just chipping stones on the surface. So you could make maybe a better stone axe or something, if you haven't been able to get your hands on flint, that is. I find usually finding a flint wash, which is a local resource, is how most new players get their first stone axe that's of a little bit higher quality, you know? I'm kind of hoping I find some cave dust soon so I can show you how that whole system works, you know? Mining eats up unreal amounts of stamina, by the way. You really do want to bring a lot of water. It's pretty typical that miners will have big barrels full of good things to drink. I know it was this way back in the day. I don't know if it's still this way now. Okay, yeah, keep going deeper. I don't know if it's this way still now, but I remember back in the day, miners always liked to bring big barrels of tea. The people working the farm would make green and black tea leaves. I don't know if they had a preference between them. And they'd make big barrels of tea, and then you'd bring it down to the mines. Because if I remember right, when you're guzzling tea, it doesn't eat up your energy to restore your stamina, at least not as much as water does. And of course, better quality water is always better. Better quality tea is always better. No reason why you'd ever want it lower. And again, reminder, when you're mining, you can hit your hotkey to drink while you're actively mining. And it doesn't interrupt your mining. You don't need to wait until he does the drink animation. He will auto-drink if he runs out of stamina, but that auto-drink, here we go. Oh, there's like a boulder. Yeah, I forgot that happens sometimes. Do you see that? There's dust. Now for us, there's a 1. The 1 is because we have Ender Client on. It's letting us know there is dust falling here, and it was 0.01 kilograms of cave dust. You get 0.01 kilogram of cave dust for every single tile in the vicinity that could cause a cave-in. It's Minesweeper. You ever played Minesweeper? Because if you haven't played Minesweeper and you want to be a miner in Haven, I legit recommend you go Google Minesweeper and you play a few rounds and learn how to play it. It's one of those games where if you don't know how to play it yet, it just seems random, but as soon as you learn the rules, you realize it's a really fun and easy math game to learn. I actually really like Minesweeper. I forget how much I like it until each time I go back to it and I'm reminded, oh yeah, Minesweeper is really fun. Okay, so just like in Minesweeper, this 1 means that on this tile, you know, there's in each direction around it, 1 tile in each direction. So in this little square, it detects 1 tile in its radius that will cause a collapse. Just like it would in Minesweeper, that would be a mine. Now we know through deduction, it is one of these 3 tiles here is the culprit. How do we know that? Because we never got dust on this tile, and this tile is adjacent to these 3. So we actually know that this tile and this tile are both safe. I just marked this tile with stone so that myself and any other miner in the future coming here will already know someone detected a possible cave-in on that tile. So I'm going to dig adjacent to it right here, and we're going to see if we see any cave dust. If we see cave dust here, then we know that this tile, or maybe even one of these ones out there is a possible cave-in. Now, if we were to dig over here and we don't get any cave dust, then that means, because this tile would be adjacent to both of these, that would mean that for sure, the cave-in tile is this one right here. Oh, look at that. We have 2 cave dust here. Okay. I'm going to pave that. I wish I had an easy way of marking that one is a 2 and the other one's a 1 for future miners, but it's the end of a world. Yeah, I know this world isn't getting completely wiped. This one's staying for the first time ever, but like, yeah, I still would just feel a little better if I could mark that off, because I'm assuming, you know, an aspiring miner might come through here and be like, oh, why was someone digging here? Did he sense metal in this direction? And then they might decide they're going to pick up my abandoned mine, and I don't want them to cave themselves in. Oh, we got a 1 here as well. Okay. See, this is dangerous. So it detects a 1. We don't know exactly what tile the 1 is, but we know it can't be this one. Sorry, M? Yeah. It can't be this one, because there's no dust on this tile or this tile. So it's on this one. So it thinks one of these tiles are the culprit. I'm starting to think this tile right here is a cave-in. Oh. We got a 1 here as well. Ooh, this is a complicated one. We may have run into a little bit of a dead end over here that's worth just poking in a different direction. You know? Because now we got 2, 1, 1, 1. Now there's probably multiple cave-in points there, obviously worth pointing out. I think this is probably one of them, which is why we have a 1, and then a 2, because this probably detects one over here somewhere. But we also know there's a cave-in on here, here, or here. No. It would have to be here. Because otherwise, this would be a 2. Because this would be sharing it. I think the cave-in then has to be right here, which would mean this tile is safe. Oh, but I don't know that because this is next to that, and that's also a 1. Do I know that? I'm gonna dig here. Because if I dig here and this has no dust, then it's not here, it's here. and then this one is sharing that one. Or maybe this one. No, it'd be that one. Because then this wouldn't have anything because this is adjacent to that, and that should be a 2. But only if this one is also a cave-in. We need more information. We gotta dig more before we know the answer to that. That's cave dust. Oh my god. This is why it's so important to not assume. You always double check. You always double check. Because now that throws such a spanner in the works. Okay, let's just learn more. We already know that this one is safe because this doesn't have any cave dust and neither does this or this. Where do the ones stop along here? Because if this one doesn't have cave dust, it does. So this might be a cave-in, but it could also be this one and this one? No, because then that'd be a 2. It could be this one and this one. Oh my god, yeah, it could be these 2 ones. And then this one has that, and then that one has that, and also another one. Oh my god. I hope you guys are learning from this, because you're just watching the thought process. You're watching me play Minesweeper live right now. Legit, I could just have Windows, like, the old Windows application Minesweeper open, and it would play the exact same, but with less guzzling water. Dude. Also, I paved that with Catskilled. It's okay. The Catskilled's not that important. It's just funny. Dude. I picked the weirdest spot to start poking the bear, didn't I? Now, some people literally will poke the bear by just knocking one hole in one wall, seeing what's right behind it. If it's not ore, they move on, they poke again. They move on, they poke again. They move on, they poke again. You can do that, but to be honest, what I'm doing right now is safer. Okay, we had no cave dust on that one. So we know that the cave-ins are here. Yet that's 100% a cave-in. And that's not a 2. So that's a cave-in. So cave-in, cave-in. I'm pretty confident in that, actually. I'm so confident in that I'm going to risk a cave-in. Pave that. Okay. So, I'm confident, based on this, that this is a safe tile. And it's also a very soft stone, as you can see, because it's not just the cave wall, so it's breaking pretty quick. Also, I'm going to consolidate some of this by just grabbing it and right-clicking onto each other so that it wastes less inventory space. There we go. I wonder if holding my shield actually does help protect me from a cave-in. I don't know that 100%. I know for sure 100% your helmet matters. Once you have hard metals, wearing like a proper miner's helmet is just a smart idea. Because, man, even if you survive the cave-in, the kinds of concussions you get from a cave-in are gnarly, man. Like, you need serious medical attention if you want your max health back after a cave-in. That's a 2. See, I knew that wouldn't be a collapse, though. And that's a 2 because this one is a cave-in, and then something new that it revealed down there is also a cave-in. Okay. Well, it is also my belief that this tile and this tile are both safe. I'm gonna, can't do that unselected. Oh, I'm on dig. Mining, there you go. You can drag a box for mining, by the way. Very useful when you have mine supports. Here we go, that's one. I don't know why it only broke the one. Do that one too. Yeah, dragging a box for mining is very useful when you already have a mine support built, because then you know it can't collapse within that range. And you only need soft metal to make a mine support. It's just like wood and stuff. But you only need soft metal, not hard metal. So us having tin, we can already make mining supports. We don't need to be playing Minesweeper right now. If we wanted, we could just build a mine support. But realistically, you don't want to build the mine support until you've found some ore, right? Why waste it? Why waste metal on mine supports when you're just poking the bear and looking this way? If you already know where the metal is, then you want to put a mine support in there because you know you want to clear out most of that. Unless, you know, you have an overabundance of metal, which does happen. If you're a solo person, you really don't need all that much metal. If you're a growing settlement, you want as much as you can get your hands on. Plus, if you don't have much LP, then you're not going to be able to afford to get those late-game skills that give you a higher ratio of ores to metal. So it wouldn't even be a bad idea to stockpile some ore and then not smelt it until that point. I can't believe no cave-in yet. So I'm Again, well, speaking about what I'm confident about, this is the cave-in tile. I'm fully convinced of that, which means this tile is safe. Because, again, Minesweeper rules. And Minesweeper does rule. What do I call this episode? Trying to start a cave-in? I kind of thought I would die in this series. I thought I'd get mauled by a bear, or a player would gank me or something. I'd get hunted down like I usually do. Brother, I got hunted down in almost every world I've played. But even back in Legacy. I feel like I always talk about it in these videos because it's my earliest memory of when one of my villages got breached on Legacy Haven, back before it was called Legacy, you know, back when it was just, that was Haven and Hearth. I ran into a guy he breached my village, and he does the thing where he corners you in the house and he wants to brag about all of his accomplishments. He left me alone eventually, I think. He might have robbed me. I think he probably robbed me, but he didn't kill me. At least I don't think he killed me. It's a long, we're talking legit 10 to 11 years ago. He was the one who was bragging about how he made Pro Jared stop playing the game. Now, did he actually make Pro Jared stop playing the game? Probably not. Like, a lot of these guys, I think, they get it in their heads that they made the YouTuber stop playing because they stopped doing videos on it. But to be honest, people who really are into Haven, they don't give up Haven. Haven's a really special game. There's nothing that feels quite like it. It really is a unique video game. That's why I spend so much time trying to just teach it to you guys, and I go through all this extra work and everything. I'm not... Brother, scroll down, check that view count. I can't see the future, but today I can see the future. This ain't doing numbers. YouTube's my full-time job. I do support my family off this. This series done for the love of the game. Because there's no way that Haven is big enough that I'm gonna do numbers, brother. I'll be fine. I'm doing this for the love of the game. I genuinely adore Haven. And it's funny because I've had my misgivings with the developers before. I don't think that one of them likes me very much, and I don't have the highest opinion of him either in terms of how he handles the community at times. At the same time, though, I really respect him as a creative. I respect them for how dedicated they are to a game, and that they seem to be fully aware. Look at that. That is the cave-in tile. That's beautiful. They seem to be fully aware that they really did make something special, and the way that they've supported it, and the way that they have not completely gouged their fans when they very much could. I really do have a lot of respect for that. So as much as I don't necessarily like my personal dealings with one of the developers, I don't think he's a piece of shit. And I really, really respect them as creatives and the game that they've made, because they genuinely have made something very special to both myself and many other people. And hopefully the game is something special to you guys too. I really hope that some of you finding this series really end up getting something out of it, getting a game that they can play with their friends. You know, one of my favorite things in my 15 years of doing YouTube now is when someone can take something from my show and they can go have a fun time outside of the show. You know, when someone discovers a game from my show that they love, and then they can go have fun on their own or with their friends, and it doesn't have to do with me anymore. It's not you get together and you watch my videos with your friends or whatever. You can do that if you want, obviously. But more so, I love the idea that my show can help you discover something that becomes special to you, even if my show isn't necessarily special to you. Because that's something special to me. I want to spread the stuff that I enjoy. I want to show you why it's special, so that those of you who think like me, you can go enjoy it too. Guys, I'm starting to think I'm not going to accidentally cause a cave-in. Maybe I'm getting a little too cocky, I don't know. You never know, because, I mean, look, when I was practicing Minesweeper, yes, my village chat can confirm that I was legit doing practice runs of Minesweeper a few days ago. Oh, hey! Oh, I didn't even have that achievement. Right, I guess the last time I found a natural gallery was before this game got put on Steam. That's funny. Let me just pave those real quick. Check it out. Sometimes you find like just a little passageway. It's very, very narrow. But how cool does this look? Now, I don't think any of this is ore. Hold on. If we open our icon settings and ores, I don't think this is every ore. I think this is just some of the ores that I've seen, because there's stuff missing on that list. Yeah, I don't think any of this is ore. Now, the scary thing is, I think it's possible that mining any of these side tiles could be a cave-in. I don't think there would be cave dust if any of this is a cave-in. I'm just gonna poke at one and see what happens. Can you tell I got a bit of a death wish? Okay. We got one there. Let's landscape stone paving. Guys, I'm kind of tempted to just say, why don't I just go intentionally cause a cave-in? Just to show you what it's like. Apparently I haven't had that stone before. I'm really tempted to just say, guys, let's do a cave-in. I mean, this character's done anyway, right? Like, I don't think there's really any, it's a cave-in! You have fainted. I didn't die! I did not die. Okay, I will travel back to my hearth fire once I wake back up. You have fainted, out cold. This is what happens when you run out of soft health. But you can see, I took some serious hard health damage too. My hard health is at 88, and my max health is 152. All right, what's the injury? Concussions. You know what? Hey, my bruising went away. Oh, that's funny. Okay. I got my infected wound went away. I got hit in the head so hard, it knocked the infection out. Oh my god, I didn't know that could happen. That's so funny. Oh, that's really funny. Okay, sorry. When you have a concussion, you get this from getting knocked out. So anytime your health hits 0, it lowers your skills for a little while. Although it lowered it by very little. It was only a -3. A -1 on some things. Yeah, no, that wasn't bad at all. That was actually very mild for a cave-in. Did it break my helmet? No? Okay. I mean, I don't see any green numbers, so it doesn't look like my armor protected me. So maybe it didn't do anything. Or maybe the helmet did. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Can't tell. We survived the cave-in. I got some damage numbers on me. If I go to extended and clear damage numbers, there we go. I can clear that up. All right, guys, we've been goofing around a lot, but it's time to get a little real with you. I gotta remind you, I am doomed. This character is doomed. And I knew that going into this series, and I've alluded to it a little bit before. But seriously, any of you out there who's watching this, you're a YouTuber, big or small, you're a streamer, big or small. Players really will hunt you down if you expose your map like I've been exposing my map the whole time. Both the big map and the mini map. You even want to hide the mini map. Yes, for real. Just if you're an OBS, you're probably an OBS, right? Great software. If you're an OBS, you should probably make a little image or something and have it cover up your bottom left so that it doesn't show your mini map. And do not show your full map on screen. I know some of you might be a bit small and you're thinking, I'm just starting out, no one's gonna hunt me. No, man, some people in this game, that's what they find fun in the game, is just making stuff difficult for other people and getting it on camera. And when they know that they ruined your fun, that's what they get really happy about. It's a bummer, but that's how some people play these kinds of games. It's part of what makes it so relieving, I guess, when you meet other players who are like you and are friendly and are just playing the game. Most people playing the game, honestly, are pretty friendly, but the ones who aren't stand out. Also, quietly in the background, I've been doing what I do sometimes in these worlds. I've been going around and carving random runestones into the world saying, have a nice day. If you ever run into any of these, feel free to screenshot them and like tweet it at me or something. I'd be happy to retweet it. I just like leaving these little Easter eggs out into the world. Sometimes if I walk past someone's abandoned base, I'll try and find a context clue, like I'll find a grave to find the name of one of the people there. And I'll leave them a little message, just a friendly little message with their name, telling them to have a nice day. I don't know. I just, it always makes me smile when I'm wandering through the world and I read some random sign that's just happy, positive, maybe an old remnant of a positive interaction two people had with each other. You remember in the first day episode of this series when I ran into that sign someone left at my old dilapidated base just saying, like, thanks for being a good neighbor. I like leaving stuff like that, too. I don't know, means something to me. Between the research, the scripting, the recording, the editing, and just prepping this character, I've already put over 200 hours into this series so far. I know that sounds crazy, but I was just looking at what my playtime on Haven was over the last 2 weeks. It was 150 hours just in the last 2 weeks. I've been working on this for over a month now. I don't know what the total hours I put into this are, but this was so much fun. I can't even describe. I had such a great time recording this whole thing for you, and I really can't wait to do more, and I can't wait for the new world to drop in 1 week from the day that I'm recording this. I'm really excited for it. Something that's really, really important, though. You guys are only seeing me, and you're only hearing me occasionally mention little allusions to my village and the people helping me behind the scenes. Well, I want to give special thanks to many people from my village who helped me behind the scenes in making these videos, and who I'm sure is going to be helping me with all the Haven videos going forward. Without you guys to help me brainstorm ideas and to help teach me the parts of the games that I was less familiar with, this series literally would not have happened. There are way, way too many people who have contributed to our villages over the last decade to give everyone individual credit, but I want to give special thanks to people like Chu for always being so proactive in helping new members learn the game. Mushrooms for taking time out of her life to learn how to play Haven on a Steam Deck, just so that she could help the village last year while she was stuck in bed. Schwing for routinely risking it all in the mines to make sure that we have enough metal. Fox for having the patience of Job when it comes to doing tedious jobs that no one really wants to do in Haven, but he's crazy and he's into that stuff. Tubby for doing a simply ungodly amount of work around the village many years ago. Nanny for saving us and bringing us to safer lands in multiple worlds after I got hunted down for being a YouTuber. Unhandy for being a real long-lasting stalwart of our little Haven community. And of course, our architect Cellites, who came up with all the absolutely beautiful base designs that we've made. He's taken the lead on a ton of the planning around our village and on how the early game of the new world ends up going. He's another person where I have no doubt in my mind that this series would not exist without him, and our little Haven community wouldn't be half as good without him. There are so many more people that I could name, but I can't dilly-dally any longer. It's already past 5 o'clock, the sun has gone down, this is the day that the series is gonna go up, and I gotta get this finished, like, literally right now. I'm hitting the end record button and immediately telling the first video to go live, and then getting this edited so it can go up the same day. So I'm in a rush, I gotta get this done, but you already know that I appreciate all of you guys for all of the help on the village. Not just this year, but over the years. For some of you, over a decade. I'm always open about how much I appreciate all the time and effort that you've put in, because you deserve it. Again, this would not happen without you guys. And with that, this is the end of the 7 days series of the Haven and Hearth guides, but that does not mean it's the end of this playlist. You will see more Haven videos out of me, and I look forward to meeting up with you guys in the next world. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.